you guys are going from tile roof to some Butler standing seam system here. But wait a minute, this is not what they saw. The problem is that, and all I'm trying to articulate is that your threshold for those decisions is your building inspection department down here. They're the group that gets the final drawings. A lot of the drawings that Scott and his team are looking at are more site plan related. It's back to this 2D zoning. Are the number of trees, are the plants and streets and everything the same? Yes, they may look at it, but if you're not really trained at looking at a set of building construction drawings, that's really hard to look at those and then look at a rendering and look at those. And
building plans do go through the planning department though.
Yeah,
Before
but
they go to the
well,
it is hard to.
If I'm not mistaken, we're not talking about commercial here, but multifamily, we're bringing up, as a builder developer, we're bringing up, what type of roof system we're doing. We're bringing up what type of brick and EIFS or whatever. We're bringing that up. So if it deviates that from any type of extremities, then that's one thing. I mean, that's your control unit there,
Yeah.
Right.
which haven't really seen anybody that's ever deviated from. If you're changing your whole design of your building or anything,
Right. But I think that, I guess what I'm trying to say at the same time is that there are certain locations in Blue Springs where these issues take higher priority than other locations. You can't police everything.
Right.
You don't want to be the god of Blue Springs and make the decision on every roofing material or siding material for every frickin' structure built here. There comes a point in time where you have to set priorities. One of the things that bothers the heck out of me constantly is driving down 40 Highway. There's so much attention that's spent out here in the new areas, and I have to, a lot of my clients from Johnson County happen to get off 291 and 470 and come into town through 40 Highway, and it's a pigsty out there. And there's nothing been done out there in decades.
That's 60 years of evolution. I mean, that's, it's
You're
you're going to have that in any city that you're in.
There has to be some consistency. You can't focus all of your energies on a 3-block area or a 1-mile area within the community and ignore everything else.
Well, and to kind of add to what Mr. Williams is saying, I know, and probably Mr. Abbott can attest to the fact that we are shown renderings and drawings at a planning commission, a city council meeting, and when we ask, is this what the building's going to look like, we're told, well, that's just a rendition. It's a dream of what they want it to look like, but when things are being presented, sometimes it's not an accurate depiction of what's being planned. So I think that
you have to. There is a distinguishing difference between the PUD concept phase, where things are still a concept, versus the next stage, which is site plan and design review. Because what's really here, I don't tear up your more than words. What's happening is that you got a continuum of time on a project, and it may be 3 to 5 years. Okay, so you get a zoning application over here, you get a PUD application over here. The project sits. You get finally maybe the first site plan and design review point in time. Then you come out here, and then you actually get a building permit being submitted. This time frame here might be 18 to 36 months.
So you're saying that when
And
you
so-
get the PUD final plan, that would be the time that you would see what the real
PUD final plan
would be when you would
or
see the
site
actual-
plan and design review is really that point in time where the most scrutiny as to what's going to be delivered is checked. Because then the other aspect is that then you actually submit out here for your permit, and between this point and this point, you could have as much as another 6 to 12 months there. Now the economy is changing, lots of things are going on. The developer, the architect team are all going through different visions of what's going on here. So it's a moving target for that. It's not that they're intentionally trying to deceive the city. It's that they don't know themselves. Now, and I'll wrap up real quick because I know my time's running. The other thing that would help tremendously, and I'll just do developer economics 101 real quick, is if this is a street, and I'm going to say this is ADP, and this is I-70, okay? Let's say I have a multifamily project at this location. we don't know which project this is. And then I've got other multifamily projects in town around it. If these projects are renting at 65% or 65 cents a square foot, okay, I'm trying to get $1 to 90 cents a square foot over here. What's happened, particularly within the last 2 years, is that the feds have come in and they said, okay, you can't use as your comp this project over in Lee Summit, this project up in, southwest Independence. You have to use comps in this area. Red is the only developer in this area recently that's been able to escape that issue because there is no other regional retail center in Blue Springs. And so when Red's doing their comps, they don't have to look at the depressed situation in Blue Springs for retail that's only maybe renting at $5 or $6 a square foot. They can reach out and grab projects here in Kansas, Johnson County, and other comparables. So all of a sudden, when they're going in for the financing of their project, they're getting a much better deal. And where it happens is that, let's say I come in and I'm the developer and I'm working with a bank and I think that my project's worth $5 million, and that's what I want to build it for. If I go from $1 to 90 cents, then the bank is going to come back and they're going to say, we're going to only loan you 4.2. Now, I can't make my units any smaller, so you won't be able to get in and out of them. I can't reduce the landscaping because Scott's going to check me out. I have to have my driveway, I have to have my street. So the only thing that's left is take everything off the outside of the building. That's what's happened. Now the other part of this, and this will be the last comment I'll make, the one final thing that makes a big difference in the private sector is time. If I'm building a $5 million project and it takes me 18 months to get it approved, okay, my interest started clicking back 18 months ago. So I'm going to say, if I got 18 months and I'm at 6%, I'm going to spend $450,000 on interest before my project's even approved. If I can get my project approved in 6 months, I may have saved myself $300,000 that I can put on the outside of the building. So in the case of Home Depot, I think I can't remember what the lengthy time of their deal was, but I know from talking to the local Home Depot rep that once Home Depot settles on the value, that's it. They lock in. The only thing that's going to happen from then on that budget, is the quality of the project's going to go down. And that's the same thing that happens with us in the banks. When we get approval, they give us $5 million. You don't go back later and say, yeah, guys, I need 5.2 because it took me this much time. They say, tough, build it for 5. And so it's not that the developer is trying to get something by the city. We want the best possible project. It's that we're getting put in a box sometimes that just makes it difficult to deliver. And I appreciate this opportunity.
Does anyone have any questions for Mr. Williams?
Well, just one statement I want to make, and I'm not picking on anybody specifically, but like Sheila was saying, I've been on the planning commission for about 8 years, and there's a lot I think our biggest concern about multifamily housing is that it all looks the same, there's no personality to it, and that's one of the distractions we see here. And another thing too is sometimes when people come to us with more creative stuff, it comes to us but then disappears and ends up being something that we never would have approved to begin with. And we kind of get lost in the loop somehow.
Household income. Household income, average household income, and between household income and between the 65 cents over here, if you want to fix the problem in Blue Springs, you have to address those two issues. To deal with this issue, you have to go back and deal with your ordinances that deal with existing properties. There is absolutely shit sitting up there north of I-70, right next to Adams Dairy right now, in which there is not one damn tree in the front yard, just south of Country Club. And it's been there for decades. There are broken steps. There's all kinds of crap out there. Now, you can't get a $1 a square foot project when you got shit around it. That's a big problem. The other problem is household income. The average household income right here at Main Street and 7 Highway is only $65,000 a year. Out south where I'm at, average household income is almost $90,000 a year.